Hello, this is a overview of this pull request, and I'll start out by saying you'll notice there's a bunch of deleted files. That is so sad. This is because when I first started this project, I had attempted to be a good database migration practitioner and use Alembic, but I did not have the time or patience to properly figure it out. I tried, I really tried, but alas, the migration files themselves were based on broken user states, and it was not a good time when I was trying to add the new table that is associated with this pull request, which is a coach client link table. So let me back up. The main point of this pull request is to enable career coaches to view their job seeker clients' data. Woohoo! Um, right now, only job seekers can view their own data, but if you actually are hiring a coach to help you with your job search, you might want to share your data with them without your career coach manually poking you and asking you, how's your job search going? Um, so that's the purpose of this feature implementation. And so as I was doing this, I realized my Alembic migrations were all wonky. So I created a new migration file that is creating all of the current tables from scratch, but I don't want to break production because there are some users actually using the cloud version of the app. And so I'm doing a check here to make sure that if we're in the production environment, um, well, I'm not checking for the environment, that probably would have been better, but I'm first checking the existing tables that are available in the database connection here. And if the database connection shows that there's companies or whatever, user emails is what I'm most worried about because there's some users that have loaded like 3,000 of their job search related activity records over the last several years. Um, I would not want to accidentally delete those. Uh, so we're only creating tables if they don't exist, and the main change here is the coach client link. And as you can see, we have the coach ID, the client ID, start date, end date of the coaching engagement. End date will be null by default once I create a link record that signifies an active coaching engagement between a job seeker and their coach. And um, deployment considerations, I'm just going to have to do this in the dead of night to, well, I'll send a system maintenance email to existing users and probably just spend a few hours with Alembic and AWS Lightsail. Um, but I was able to run this migration on my own local machine, and it works on my machine, so it'll work in prod, right? Right. This is, let's see, it's still the migration file, but I wanted to show you the change to the Alembic environment. So previously, let me see, in main dot, no. You would think if there we go. So, it's not what I wanted. Okay, I was blind. So the thing that I removed was we used to manually. Um, I would recreate the tables from like just using this function, which I can't seem to enter, but you'll have to believe me. And so I want to be a good database migration practitioner and use Alembic. Therefore, I'm not doing this anymore. Um, and you'll see there's a new API router, and that is everything to do with the coaching coach clients, uh, getting like the list of clients that's available in the coach client link table and making sure that they're active. Let's see, the main update for authentication purposes is that auth routes is not validate session, but where are you? Get context user ID. So previously was using this function called validate session, which would check that the request session ID matched the user ID and like, would look at cookies and secure authentication. We're still doing that, but in addition to that, let's see, show you where that is. So in admin utils, so you can see we're still doing validate session, but in addition to that, we're getting the query param for the client ID that is only returned because of any existing records from the um, coach client link. And let's see what else would be good to explain. I guess it's worth noting that if there is no target client ID, then we're just falling back to the authenticated user from the initial validate session function, which does all the good stuff like authentication checking. And we're also making sure that there is an active record again. It'd probably be nice to have like a helper function to check for active coach client records, but future day. And if there is no existing relationship based on what was passed to the endpoint, we will return a somewhat generic access denied. We don't want to confirm nor deny that there is a user associated with that user ID if you're not authorized to view the user. And let's see, there's some Docker file updates so that we're actually using Alembic for migrations. And let's see, in the front end, we have some new functionality. We need to make sure that we're getting the correct role for viewing, whether it's the job seeker or the career coach. And this helps with the toggle dropdown, as well as we're storing the role within the users table. So if that's another thing that is currently manual is when I onboard a new coach, I'll have to manually set the role within the database table as coach. But again, as this scales, I will create a API endpoint or some kind of admin view to make that easier. And yeah, we are, what else would be good? Oh, okay, so the read only is false by default, but we are passing in read only as true if, where is it? This is very hard. Yeah, so if view as is populated, so if role is coach, so that's something that is um, set by me, and assuming that can't be changed within console, I think we're okay here. Role is coach, so role is getting API response from this endpoint. And let's see. The other thing I had to do was add a database URL. There was some weirdness there, but now when you're working in the dev environment, Lembic upgrades should be automated as well. And let's see. I think that's it. This went a little longer than I wanted, but hopefully this is helpful. I didn't add the new user authentication function for all the endpoints, only for the endpoints that are pulling data. Anything that is modifying data, I'm still just using the validate session original function because I don't even want to have the possibility of coaches being able to modify job seeker data. But one thing I did just remember is if coaches are also, this is an edge case where coaches can be job seekers themselves while coaching job seeker clients, and I'm not sure if I accounted for that in the depends calls here for all the endpoints. So I'm not sure if a coach can edit their own data. So that's something to test in the future. But very, very small edge case. And let's see. I did also want to share that I added some unit tests. And so we have some new fixtures, some edits to current fixtures. For the user factory, we've added role, and we've imported the new SQL model. And here are our new fixtures. And we are testing that coach can view emails, can get emails for the client, but that they cannot delete emails. Yeah, I'll leave it there. Feel free to comment in the pull request if you have any questions, but I'll be testing this hopefully sometime this week.